Well, we've been talking about risk, and we've talked a little bit about return. We're going to focus on return a little bit more now, and we want to really focus on the things that matter the most with regard to return. And we've said return is sort of net cash flow, and we've identified it as this thing called EBITDA, which is really cash flow. But there are other measures of return that buyers will look at. But the key is that whatever measure of return you're using, it's absolutely critical that it be growing and that the quality of the returns be well received and understood. And what do we mean by the quality of the returns? We're talking about the consistency and the redundancy and the ability to keep replicating those returns. Any banker, any private equity firm, any large corporation that would be looking at buying some part of your company, they're going to want to know that you have earnings that are growing, you have returns that are growing, and that they're sustainable. Because remember we said before, the value is the present value? Well, they're looking into the future. They're not buying, they're not investing in your past. What was the first rule I said? All financial decisions are marginal, which means they're futuristic. They're looking at your future. And how does your future look? Are those earnings reliable? Are they repeatable? Can you keep doing it over and over and over? Well, I said they're looking to the future, but the way you predict the future is to look at what? You look at the past and you look at the current. And if you have good data, when we got our first significant investment from an outsider, when we did the private equity transaction in 1993, the thing that impressed them the most is that they started talking to us in 1990. For 2.5 years, we kind of did a dance. And during that time, we kept providing monthly, quarterly, annual data. And it kept showing things going up. And we kept showing them information that gave them evidence of the dependability of our cash flows and our growth. Without that information, it would have been the old, well, trust me, everything is great. That doesn't work. Information needs to be provided about the growth of your earnings and the quality of your earnings. And it really helps to have that information validated by a neutral third party, which is typically referred to as a CPA firm. And they come in and do a review or an audit of your financials, and they provide some validation of the data that you're providing. Now, you can get that from an accountant. You can also get that kind of validation from an investment banker that may come in and guide you through the process, and will send some of their really bright people in to try and validate the data, and they can add additional credibility to the quality of the information.